orzo while it's cooking. So just get that minced up and set that aside. Next is going to be a shallot, and this is one medium, actually small to medium shallot. You just want to peel off that crispy, crackly paper. And in this case, I just use my paring knife to peel it. These can be a little challenging to peel sometimes when they cure a little long. That skin can get pretty tough, so you have to pull it right off, and that lets you get at the inside. And now what I like to do with these when you're mincing is make little teeny batons like that, of course keeping your fingers safe, people. And once you do that, you turn it sideways and just use a sawing motion like that, make some slits in it, and then you have a nice fine mince. Next up is going to be the roasted peppers. And if you've watched this channel for any length of time, you know that I love roasted peppers. And these are simply just whacked up a bit. You don't want perfect dice, nothing super fancy. Just chop the darn things up and keep moving along with your mise en place. Here are the capers. These are brined capers, and capers are the bud of a bush from the Mediterranean. Now, there's also salted capers, which I find to be a little higher quality. Can be a little more difficult for the average person to get in your supermarket. Near the mustards and the vinegars and all that, you'll find brined capers, and this is what you're seeing here. They're very unique in flavor. Now, what a pain in the rump this is. I'm so tired of peeling garlic. I've been doing it since I was 14 years old. It's a pain in the neck. Sometimes I buy California grown garlic cloves that are already peeled, and those are lovely. Anyway, mince the garlic up, and this will complete your aromatics, and that's going to be the shallots, the garlic, and also the capers are what lend the majority of the flavor to this dish. But let's not forget the Boursin cheese, and this is flavored Boursin. It's a shallot and chive version. This stuff is heavenly. So fire up your burner, and in this case I've got just I don't know, about a 5-quart little pot there. In goes your extra virgin olive oil. Let that heat up a bit, and then you add in your aromatics. So this is a bit of a process here. We just want to sweat these out initially, not for very long. I would say no more than a minute. And that's going to start to release some of the flavors and aromas and help them go from being raw to somewhat cooked. Then in goes your orzo pasta, not rice. You put in the orzo, and now you want to mix it around. And this is a technique you see with a lot of rice cookery incidentally. Stuff like Mexican rice, Spanish rice. They will put it in and then with oil and toss it around. You see I season it up with salt and pepper. Now you just want to keep moving it around until it starts to get a nutty golden brown. And that can burn easily, so be careful. Now you can see it's gotten brown. In goes the roasted pepper juice that's been reserved, my roasted peppers, and then I throw in the capers. Now you just want to stir this through just for a minute, and then you need to get your stock or broth. You can use vegetable broth if you want to keep it vegan, or you can use chicken broth like I did in this case. Stir it around, cover it. The heat needs to go down to low. 10 to 12 minutes later, it will be cooked. And if you've done it right, you should have a lot of individual grains. So here you go. Parsley goes in, and then there's the Boursin cheese. You just need to add that at the end. The heat from the orzo will kind of melt that, and just do take a little time to stir it all through. Nobody really wants, at least I don't think, a big giant chunk of Boursin cheese because it's not strong, it's just very flavorful. And there you can see a lot of beautiful individual grains. See how it's not like a big clump. They move around quite easily. They fall apart. That is some really delicious food. Now just garnish that with some of your parsley. And the next step here is just to give it a taste. Right off the bat, it tastes nutty. The texture is very interesting with orzo. It's got that nutty flavor, and it's just got a really interesting texture. It's very kind of flaky, if you could imagine that. But the flavor of that roasted pepper and those pungent capers in there, the cheese gives it a really nice note. And it's a beautiful dish, simple ingredients that anybody can find. So it's something that isn't cooked a lot, but I think you really love it. So go ahead and get you some and make some delicious orzo pasta.